Wighton could return to Origin. There's growing speculation that new recruit for the Rabbitohs, Wighton, could make himself available for selection for the Blues in this season. There is now an increasing belief by those close to Wighton that he is giving serious consideration to overturning his decision. There was a quote too, wasn't there, Matty?
He said, like, we'll see.
Yeah, so there was a quote, and basically the door was open. Door wasn't closed. Didn't close on the toe.
No.
Not on Joseph's toe, that's for sure.
If it wasn't true, you'd shut it down straight away.
Yeah, you go, no, I'm done. I'm done. The Gary Jack, the Big Mac is gone.
Yeah.
Look, I think that...
Speaking of the door,
Yeah.
when is a door not a door?
When is Sandor?
No, when it is a jar. And that's exactly the case with Jack Wighton.
There you go. That's hard hitting.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Carlos, back to you.
It's some of your best, Hammy. Some of your best for me, so. Bro, remember, were you here yet when we were like trying to work out what that celebration was? And I actually thought it was
A dab.
I thought it was that.
No, I thought it was an actual hammer. Or was it a
That's
shark
right.
or something?
Yeah, I think it's a shark. And
It's actually a shark, and we thought it was a hammer?
Hammer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It does make you think. Rugby league, it's a thinking man's game. They all say that. Wighton, look, even when
I'd love to see you introduce yourself as Carlos whilst doing the hammer.
Now, Wighton, even when he said that he'd retire from rep footy, I didn't believe it.
It felt hollow.
It didn't feel real to me. I felt like, Jackie boy, you love this shit. What's going on there? It is weird that this has even been considered. Now, Jackie came out after it all and said, no issue with Brad Fittler. We're all good. There is no dramas there. He's a great coach. He gave me an opportunity. I guess I would love to know the reasons then why he did decide to retire from rep footy. Was he, he said he wanted to focus on a premiership for the Raiders. I understand that, but then it's like, okay, so what, you're not focusing on a premiership for the Rabbitohs? Now, sometimes when players say that, there's actually a lot more going on off the field that you can't just tell the public. And so I understand why a player will kind of lean towards that rather than going, well, actually, I've got this going on off the field and like I'm away all the time and, during the year I want to be able to do this or that. So maybe there is another reason that, is quite personal to Jackie. From a purely rugby league perspective, I would love Jackie Wighton to return. He is Origin. He is Origin.
Yeah, we desperately need Jack. We desperately needed Jack last year. I think that when he officially had signed with, going to South Sydney and when Madge had been brought on as New South Wales coach, I think we sort of looked at each other. And obviously Madge has been in the Canberra system last few years and thought, Jack will be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love him. And I posted something about it the other day and everyone messaged me, but where do you fit him in? I don't give a fuck.
Just get him in.
Just give him a jersey.
Yeah.
I don't care where he plays. He
Yep.
can play anywhere. Wherever we need, whatever happens, put him on the bench. He doesn't even have to be 14. He can be jersey 17.
Well, I mean, to be honest, if you're looking to not waste a bench spot on two hookers, you put him at 14 and you chuck him in the middle for 10 minutes. He can pass a ball off the deck and get around the ruck there.
Well, last year with Nico, when he was off the bench, you can really only slot him in, obviously at fullback, but at halfback. But if no one goes down injured, where do you put him into the game? And that's how it eventuated. With Jack, you put him at 14, as Guru said, you can put him anywhere.
Literally anywhere.
I'd be more than happy to pick a second hooker and Jack on my bench.
Oh, for sure. I called that a couple of years ago where they didn't keep him on the bench. I was like, mate, he can play in the forwards. Just get him on there. But what I'm saying is that if you're, because that was the argument for a couple of years with the Blues was, should we be picking two specialist hookers to rotate like the Broncos, the Queensland do? And so, that solves your problem. Boom, there's your 14 right there. You telling me Jack couldn't play 20 minutes of hooker? Of course he could. And I tell you what, he tightened that middle up a lot. If you're a forward and you're running in that middle and you're used to a little fella coming on and Jackie Boy's standing there, I'll tell you right now, you're not going to be hitting that line as hard with Jackie Boy in the middle there jamming blokes.
Jack Dean in the middle in Origin would be so good to watch.
So good. He could turn the game with his defence. I mean, he did it from number 6. How often for the Raiders, it wasn't his attacking play that turned the game, it's his defensive plays.
And sorry, mate.
No, you go.
I say, when he's defending that 3-man and he's worried about reads and blokes coming at him from all angles, in the middle, it's just line him up and whack him.
Yeah. We need 10 minutes before halftime, 10 minutes after halftime. Just impact the game He could do that. He could absolutely do that. Timmy, what do you reckon about this? Wighton could return.
Yeah, as a Blues fan, I love it. I mean, the whole 1 year retirement from it's all weird, but as Guru said, Madge, Raiders connection, I don't know anything about their personal relationship, but you'd imagine if he's looking at coming out of rep retirement to do it, it's probably pretty good. So it makes sense in that regard from a Blues perspective, slot perfectly in on the bench. So, yeah, I'm all for it.
Talk about a Madge style player.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, like if Madge was concocting a perfect player, it would literally just be Jack Wighton.
If you needed a mascot for Madge, it's Jack Wighton.
Would love Jackie Wighton. What do you reckon, mate? As a non-Queenslander, but you support the right state.
Yep.
What do you reckon?
Well, he's a gun at Origin. He's won man of the matches playing at centre. Just get him out there and he works it out at Origin. I think he's perfect for that 14 role on the bench just because of what you say. He can cover injuries or he can just come on and have an impact playing anywhere as it is. Probably just the one thing, though, ever since he announced his retirement from Origin, he probably didn't play his best footy even at the Raiders. So does he walk straight back in or does he have to probably just get a little bit closer back to that level of footy that he can play when he's at the Rabbitohs before you get him back in there? I don't know if he'd be a walk-up start.
I think you'd have to work. I think you'd have to, I wouldn't say work, but you'd have to be playing good footy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't select him if he wasn't playing good footy.
Yeah. I get the sense he will. Change is as good as a holiday. I reckon he'll come back out and play some good.
You don't retire from the rep scene, change clubs, and expect to walk back into the side. He has to play quite good footy for the first 3 months of the season, but I think there's no one doubting that he can and will do that.
Yep.
I'm glad we didn't have to wait as long for Jack to come back as we did for Jamie Lyon. Very handy. Still waiting for that phone call. I'd still pick him tomorrow.
Mate. Jackie Wighton, it's been an interesting kind of road for Jackie Wighton because there was a period where, some people would have him up there as one of the best sixers in the game, form-wise. And now in like spans of maybe 12 to 16 months, maybe just 18, people are basically like, oh, he's not a six. He's not a six. Even Ricky Stewart come out and said he's not a six. He was playing it to help the team out. So really interesting to see how he plays this year because we're assuming he's going to be in the centres. We don't know that for sure. It'll be interesting to see how he's injected into the game. Is he going to keep his width? Is he going to do a lot of ball running? I can't wait to see it. It's going to be weird seeing him in that jersey too.
It's so strange. Yeah.
Like I'm just imagining the Rabbitohs running out. He's sitting on the edge there with that. I mean, sorry, Timmy, but it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, mate.
I'm over it.
Hey, if he does come back to Origin, just note it down on the iPad. Another Mosh bounce back.
Hey, do you work for Mosh as well?
I just love to keep the sponsors happy.
Me and Matty were going through the Bunnies best 17 for next year, and obviously Jack, featured pretty heavily in that. And we were saying that a lot of people get stuck into him about the, controversial Dally M, controversial Clive Churchill. It's like, sure, but you don't get lucky and win Clives and Dally M's. Maybe other guys that year got unlucky not to win those things, sure. But you don't accidentally fall ass first into Clive Churchills and Dally M's. You have to be a damn good player, and Jack Wighton is that.
For sure. And also, let's say you wanted to say controversial or whatever. He was still razor close to other incredible players. 100%. So that trophy doesn't really change his form for the year. Just because, let's say you say he shouldn't have won it. Oh, so was he bad that year? No. Was he solid? No. He was actually really, really good. You just might think someone else was just a tiny bit better. I still stand by, though. Charles Nicoll-Klokstad, CNK, he probably wins the Clive if he doesn't get cramps in the 70th minute in that grand final. He was 65th minute. He was incredible in that grand final. Incredible. All right, Jackie Wighton, state in crisis, sounds like to me. Boys, you got your 17 Origin predictions yet, or no?
I'm pretty close.
Haven't done it yet.
Haven't done it yet?
Haven't done it yet.
You know what? It actually would be, all jokes aside, it would be interesting to see who we have in the side right now compared to, because a lifetime in rugby league. And, for example, you look at the Blues side, no one would have picked Tavita Pangai Jr. in the side last year or maybe even Stefano. All of these players, Hudson Young ended up making his side. There are a lot of players that end up making their New South Wales debut that I'm sure probably weren't in our 1 to 17 at the start of the year. So maybe we've
got a pretty light show next week. We should
tack that on the end.
What's an 8th hour of the show?
Who cares?